Welcome to Successful Parenting, where we, Jackie Rue and Robin Choquette, share practical skills for families to build resilience and healthy connections. As practicing professionals and parents ourselves, we hope this podcast is a resource for parents to grow, reflect, and learn more about themselves and their children. Our approach is simple, tangible, and most importantly, we lead with compassion for the integrity of the families we serve. This podcast should not be taken as medical advice and is intended for informational purposes only. We love our work and we can't wait to watch families gain confidence and open themselves up to new ways of successful parenting.
Hello, Robin. How are you?
I'm good. I love this time of year. This is my time.
I don't know. I've talked to a lot of people, and this holiday season has approached and come so quickly. I mean, we had Thanksgiving and now we're already at Christmas. And, I know Hanukkah is on Monday and there's a lot of other festivities and there's so many things at schools and musicals, and parents are saying it's just very busy. And it seems, I think, even a bit more busy since the pandemic. And so I don't know if you're feeling that way too.
Yeah, I was booking on Monday a client for the following week, and that's when I realized it was the week before Christmas.
And I think, too, a lot of parents and families have said to me that they're feeling a little bit of stress and pressure this year, almost, making up for, some time that we lost during the pandemic. And
Yeah,
one of the things we've talked a lot about is just really, slowing down a little bit, avoiding the hustle and bustle and really, not sweating the small stuff per se, but just trying to just enjoy some time with family.
yeah. And I've had a couple people who've actually told me they're not doing gifts. And I like that because just what you're saying is they wanted to slow things down. They're kind of leaning in on those traditions and looking at that instead of the gift. I've had a couple of families that said that. And I know from my own childhood, that was such an important thing. And I'll be honest, my parents divorced when I was much older, but there were fighting going on in the home sometimes. And for us to travel to my grandparents, we would go on Christmas Eve. That was a tradition I knew that was always going to be there. And I looked so forward to that every year. And we would come back on Christmas Day. And it was just a tradition. It brings so much warm memories. And I feel warm inside and happy when I think about those times of just going to my grandparents, which wasn't that far away, but spending the night in their home just felt safe and secure, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you think about kind of what we remember from our childhood or what we want our children to remember. And it's not going to be the gifts and all those other things. It's
Right.
going to be what you said. It's going to be those traditions. I know many families have even said, they're giving gifts of experiences. And I know some families have chosen to do like volunteering as part of the holiday season, just anything that really promotes healthy connections. Many families have said that they're concerned that their children are disconnected. They're concerned about behaviors they're seeing and slowing things down. In particular, for children that have mental health issues or really
Hmm.
struggle, having things be a little bit slower paced as well as structured can be helpful too. Having game nights and holiday movies, I mean, it can be really simple. Many parents have said to me they tend to put so much pressure on themselves to make this
Right.
spectacular, holiday, and we put so much pressure on it, but really we could just kind of keep it low key and our children are going to be just as happy.
Right. It's kind of, I don't know if you've seen the movie, and it's not always appropriate. Bad Mom
Mhm.
Christmas, I
Mhm.
think it is.
Mhm.
And it is to that very thing of how much we try to do so much. And I know I can have a tendency to do that. I can want to do it all and have it all. I changed several years ago because someone else had told me they were doing it. I now give the gift of experiences to my grandkids just because of all of the things that you're talking about. It's about spending time and connecting with one another, being able to share those moments, and then we have those memories. And so that is something I know I've really switched up. And I was so happy when someone mentioned that. I thought, wow, I'm going to try that. And the kids have actually loved it. They enjoy it a lot.
Well, and I think too, when we think about kind of what we value as a family and we our holiday time can reflect that, whether it's
Hmm.
connections or giving, as we build that into a routine, when we're doing things different at first, the children might, not necessarily love it, but the more you make it a routine, they start to appreciate it.
Right.
And, I recognize for many families this time of year can also bring feelings of sadness feelings of stress, anxiety, and even frustration and anger. All families are dealing with different things, feelings of loss, whether, you're experiencing, maybe a family member that has passed or is ill, possibly, you're grieving, maybe there's
Mhm.
someone in the family or you yourself has mental health issues or,
It can be
addiction.
time.
Yeah, it can be a struggle. And I think be mindful of not to put expectations of what Christmas according to social media or a commercial needs to look like, but really, taking time to take care of yourself and be mindful of if you don't have someone to connect with, trying to find those connections.
Yeah. And I know in my experiences, I think one of our best memories for my kids was when we would do some volunteering and giving back. And that really does, when we look at mood and people are talking about they feel sometimes insignificant. How do I really matter in the world? And that's such a great way to give back. And although it may be something small, and it could be an act of kindness, just helping someone and being intentional with that really does change our mood. And it's also a way for us to experience and express gratitude for what we do have, right? What we are privileged to experience. And it doesn't mean there's a large dollar value to that, but can we look at those things to help us to really be in the spirit of whatever holiday that you celebrate?
Absolutely. And I think on the flip side of that, if you're a family that, you're in need, whether it's financially or emotionally, maybe you don't have a lot of family, I don't have necessarily a huge family on my end, but feel free to connect, reach out, ask for support. Sometimes we as parents have the hardest time taking care of ourselves and putting ourselves first, but at times we need to. And so if you need help from others in the community, or if you need more connection and support, or even if you need professional, help, whether it's through therapy or counseling, more than ever, we have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. And really that can be a gift for you as well as your family in the holiday season.
Right. Jackie, I know you've had this as well. And so often, the work I do with adolescents, one of the things they talk about is this excitement for the holidays, but also when family gathers. And it's not unusual to have a few members who may overindulge, struggle with drinking. And I think, as you said, really your self care is to be able to recognize under those times of stress or under the times of celebration, do you overindulge in alcohol or substance that doesn't really create that opportunity to connect with others, and it can really impinge on others and how they might feel in terms of being comfortable around you.
Absolutely. And I think it's, it all ties into self-care, and
Yeah.
holidays can be great and they can be, also stressful, and whatever your experience it is, it's your experience. And don't feel shame if you're not feeling the happiness that TV movies and the commercials kind of show. We talk a lot about whatever you're feeling is what you're feeling, and that is okay. Just time again. I love how you said that, Robin. Think about what our children will remember, and don't sweat all the moving around and buying things and, meals, but just time together and enjoying it.
Yeah. Jackie, I guess as we're closing up, I have to say thank you for our friendship and our work together. I am just so excited to continue, this project that we are doing now, the podcast. I just really do appreciate the time that we get to spend together, and I value that relationship because I truly believe that I become through my relationships. And your definitely is a relationship that I truly appreciate. So thank you, as well as all of our listeners and friends and families and, those individuals out there we don't personally know, but they've been listening. So I am so grateful for everyone.
Back at you, Robin. I think it's been about 20 something years of us having, really working with families. And I think we've always enjoyed it. Oftentimes people ask how I'm not so burnt out or I'm not burnt out. And I think we've loved our work and we've had fun together. And I think we've grown together. And I so appreciate our friendship also. And just wherever you are today and, out there, I hope that you truly have a holiday that means something to you and develop the connections. And if there's things that you want different, that you're able to find that in the coming months.
Yeah. It was interesting, Jackie. I had someone ask me because I was talking about the work on the podcast, and both of us have spent a lot of time. And, listeners, we research, we really believe in what we're giving and what we're doing is for the families. And this is something that Jackie and I have talked a lot about over the years. We absolutely love it. And someone says, do you think it's too much on your plate? And I said, absolutely not. This isn't work for me. This is giving and spending time and learning and providing something that I think is so important for everyone. So I just really value it all.
Yes. Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays. Thank you for joining us, and make sure to subscribe and like us to catch our next episode, where we will take you on a journey to find new ways of successful parenting.